It's been a little more than a year since that deadly midair collision near our nation's capital. Last week, the National Transportation Safety Board released its final report into the tragedy. Investigators said there are several factors that contributed to the crash. One of those factors was the pilot's restricted view. Investigators recently released some animations that simulate what they dealt with. Investigators also said a crowded airspace and little warning from air traffic control contributed to the crash between an American Airlines jet and an Army Black Hawk helicopter, which killed 67 people. Last month, we heard from the National Transportation Safety Board chairwoman. Let's take a listen to what she had to say.
Underlying systemic failures, system flaws aligned to create the conditions that led to this devastating tragedy.
We have two Georgians who were lost here, but eerily, we have two 28-year-old Georgians who were both doing their job. They were not passengers. It sets them in a little bit of a different category among these victims, and their parents lived, just a few miles away from each other along the Georgia coast. So it's really, you couldn't have sadly written this story. NTSB rushed to put out its final report, outlining what it believed were the causes of this accident. And I say causes because there were many systemic failures. And so for the NTSB, that's the end of the road. Congress is considering a major reform package this week. But for these families, grief just is beginning, and it's something that will never end. Ryan O'Hara has a 2-year-old son who apparently looks and walks just like him. Sam Lilley was supposed to get married last October. Both were supposed to turn 30 in May and June of this year. For these families, just every month brings another milestone of grief, really.
What do you hope people take away from reading your story that you published on AJC, or for the AJC?
I hope that people learn about what caused this accident, because we have a lot of information. How do they see that this was several really of our nation's most complex institutions, the FAA, the Department of Transportation, the U.S. Army, how these systems failed people that night, and also that they take away just a glimpse of 2 of the 67 lives that were lost, and the humans that were behind the technical details and all of the institutional failures that we must talk about as well. But it's those lives that were lost, the families, the sons, the mothers, the fathers, that will have the longest lasting legacy, that grief.
Yeah, you have to understand more than 60 people lost their lives in this. As you mentioned, the 2 people from Georgia were just simply doing their jobs. For more on her reporting, you can go to AJC's website. Emma, thanks so much for joining us today.